Could you share a few tips which entrepreneurs can follow from you? Simple steps, how you felt you could build your business year on year. Markets have gone through ups and downs. Many wealth management firms have been washed out, but y'all lasted it and y'all are growing every year in spite of it. Could you share a few tips as to how y'all did this?
So first, Roma, I would say we were very lucky. We were fortunate because 2002 is when we started. It was immediately after September 11th, which happened in 2001. Things were really low, and economy started picking up from 2003 onwards. Market started picking up from that time onwards. So we also got the benefits of the tailwind. So I would say we were very lucky. Second, we just were focused on our own dream. Like I always say, I have been a great dreamer. In fact, right from my childhood days, my favorite program used to be Mungeri Lal Ke Haseen Sapne. So I used to watch that program, and I always had dreams at all points in time, whether I was in a school, whether I was in a college, job, even when I started Client Associates. And that dream was to set up one of the most admired wealth advisory platform from India. And when both Rohit and I, we sat down and we said, if this is the dream which we are pursuing, we were both very passionate about it, but there are certain baby steps which we need to take. How would that dream be accomplished? So we said there are going to be three pillars which will drive our journey as we go forward. One, create the best team. It's a profession which is of knowledge. It's something which you may be good, but if your dream is to be the most admired, you need to aggregate knowledge and you need to really build up a like-minded team, which is what we call as the best team. So that is something which was the first pillar. And if I look back, I think last 18, 19 years, maximum energies have gone in terms of building up that team. Uh, I remember a time 18 years back when if we have to meet up with someone, the guy would refuse to come to Gurgaon because Gurgaon is very far off from Delhi and our office was in Gurgaon. So we said, no problem, we'll come closer to your home or your office and meet you in Barista. And rather than taking the interview, we were giving our own interview or we were selling our own vision. So attracting talent was very difficult. But if I look back, today we have built up a team of about 150 of us. And all of us have worked with some of the finest brands, global, Indian banks, non-banks, and all of us have tasted those things. But one thing which is very, very unique and common between us is we all want to be on client side, client first. So that is something which is we did, which actually kept us motivated because we wanted to launch something which is very, very unique and very, very different. Second, we felt we need to focus on some of the best clients. And typically family office goes with $1 billion families or multi-family office goes with $100 million families. First year, it was very difficult even to get the first client, but we got five in first 1 year. And from five to today's 750, I would say, 95% plus have happened purely through word of mouth references. You do a good job. You keep on working hard. Don't compromise on anything. Just focus on client centricity and work just follows. And clients are growing. As I mentioned, wealth creation has increased manifold in India. So if our clients grow, we also get the chance to grow with them. And third is follow the best practices or maybe launch some of the finest practices in the market. So we actually spent 3 weeks in writing down what will help us to relate with our purpose. So our purpose was to actually practice your passion and make it a profession whereby we can practice this wealth management in a client-centric manner. And that is something where we wrote down 11 business principles which will help us to relate with this passion, this purpose of our life. I will not go into all those 11, but if you ask anyone at Client Associates, what are top three things which you are known for? It is three T's: trust, talent, and transparency. That has become the foundation of our organization. So best team, best clients, best practices is what we kept focusing on. And we got the benefit of the tailwinds of market rising from there. And things just fell in place. So I think our timing was right. And second, we had time on our side. And third, maybe luck played the role, maybe the courage or the encouragement from our friends or entire universe played a role that we kept on going year after year. So first 5 years we succeeded, we survived, and then we thought the next phase is keep on growing from there itself. So we have been able to grow over last 18, 19 years, and today we manage about $3.5 billion with about 150 of us and working with 750 families.
Himanshu, I loved your three pillar concept of best team, best client, and best practices. And that makes it so clear. The other thing which I took away, which you kind of alluded to, is that the entire team bought into your vision. And it is only when the team buys into your vision that they are ready to jump in with full commitment. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get your team players to perform unless they see what you are trying to see. So you gave them great clarity as to where you wanted to take your business. The other thing which I took away, and it's very important for entrepreneurs to have, is to have a code of honor for the company, something that binds the company together. And you have 11 business rules, which is the code of honor for the company, resting on very, very strong value systems. And the three T's that you mentioned of trust, talent, and transparency. Businesses feel that they can just develop a culture, or whatever culture emerges is the culture that stays. But if from the beginning the entrepreneur ensures that he's creating the culture, he's putting down those set of rules which the whole company has to follow, then just by virtue of for everybody knowing that culture, the company can move forward together. So lovely takeaways, Himanshu. Thank you for that. And that takes me to the next question, though I've kind of already got an insight into it. But if you could help us with a few things that you did to retain your talent. I mean, I've known people in your company who've worked forever. I've known you since 2002, Himanshu. Like you said, as an industry partner, being in wealth management, financial services, I've seen some people who have been there forever in your company. How do you manage? Because entrepreneurs feel that the only reason why people leave is for money. But you have proven that the highest salary paymasters are not necessarily the attractors of talent. You've managed to keep back people for very, very long periods of time. Can you share a few things that you've done which has held back your talent?
So I would say, one, again, we are very fortunate that we got very good people, people who believed in this value system, people who could relate with this culture. In fact, they have actually helped us to enhance this culture and values what we started with. So I can say, for example, Naval joined us right on the second day of Client Associates. He's still here. He manages a large team. Rahul Nair joined us within first 3 months of starting Client Associates. So what we feel is maybe we could relate with some of these people. They could relate with us. They could relate with the vision. They could help us achieve our vision. There are a couple of things which really help us, and I would give you examples, Koma. One is you actually nurture these people and say, this is not another job, this is a career move for you. You are becoming like a professional entrepreneur over here. You come and practice this profession in a client-centric manner and manage your set of clients without any pressures of pushing products. That is something which has helped. Second is spending good amount of quality time with them, understanding their families, knowing what are their strengths, how can you enhance all those strengths, what are the areas which they need to work upon, can you give them a support on those areas. Third, I would say, besides office, which is very formal, informally spending time with them. So to me, I would say one thing which comes very naturally is sports. I have been a sports person throughout my career, whether it was in school, college. Had my parents given me a choice, I would have become a sports professional. But fortunate for me, I can play different kind of sports. And our organization has produced so many sports people. And there are various occasions, whether it's on the weekend or early morning or late evening, we always have been finding time to connect with each other, either on a tennis court or a football field, or playing a match of cricket, or playing carom board. So some of those things also helped us to create a good bond with each other. So when I travel to or used to travel to my branches, because last 10 months I have not traveled, but used to travel to my branches, always the intent used to be how do we spend an evening which is not about drinking, but it is about getting to know each other, maybe knowing their families, they getting to know us. So spending time with their spouses, with their parents, sometimes with their kids, which is something which comes very naturally to us. So I would say providing a great work culture, giving them freedom, giving them space, getting the best out of them by looking at their strengths. That is something which has helped us to actually retain the talent. And I would say today, whatever little bit success which we have achieved, and I have the honor to be on your show, 90% plus credit goes to the team because they have actually helped us to grow. So they are the reasons behind our little bit of success. And we are really lucky or fortunate that way that we have been able to build up that like-minded team, and which is also the first pillar which we said, to achieve the dream of being the most admired, we have to build up the best team. One thing which we actually crafted as a part of our core team in 2017, when we said next 5 years plan, which is 2022, we want to be the most admired uh, uh, private banking team in the country, or the best places to work in private banking industry in India. So it's a very simple dream, not the best places to work in India, not the best places to work in private banking in the world, but in India, if someone says, I have to make a career in private banking, can Client Associates be that place where people would like to come out of choice and build their careers rather than taking a job over here?
Wow, Himanshu, lots of takeaways. So, creating a workplace which is a career of choice for people out of all private banking outfits in India. What I loved about what you said is you all have built culture of a company that works together and plays together. And I think that's a beautiful balance that you have brought in. And one more thing which entrepreneurs do not give focus on, and it's amazing to hear that you all have given focus on it, is to know your employees beyond work. The fact that you said that when you travel, you try to meet their parents, their families, their children, talk about personal things, personal challenges, it just increases the feeling of belonging. And every employee wants to belong to an organization. And you all have created that culture of belonging. And I must share, Himanshu, that in my first organization, and you know the team very well, when we were Standard Chartered Mutual Fund, that is exactly what our CEO used to do, and the team leads also used to ensure, Emron, Naval, all of them, Rajiv Anand, all of them used to ensure that they get to know the employees beyond work. And it just increases the feeling of belonging. That's it. Then your workplace is not your workplace anymore. So thank you for
No, no,
sharing
in
that.
fact, I must
And
add, last few months, we have been all working from home, and we are encouraging people to work from home. One thing which we felt which is missing is the energy flow. So these days, every day I actually have one meeting with someone, maybe in an open space, meet over lunch. Just the idea is to exchange that energy, because work is all happening from the workplaces, whether it's on the telephone, Zoom, thanks to media. We are also doing this discussion on a Zoom call right now. So all the work can happen, but that human element. So it also gives me a lot of energy when I speak to them, and I am able to pass on that energy to them because they give me that positive energy.